crook of his elbow. "I'm so proud of you." Kate was waiting for them outside the church, just as she had promised, and she greeted Willow with a gentle hug. Kate had been in a strange mood all day, so it was nice to see her smile. Willow wanted to ask her what was wrong, but she thought she knew. Once Willow and Charlie were married, Kate would be the only single one in their group. It shouldn't matter in this day and age, but somehow it seemed to matter to Kate, and Willow wondered why. "Are you ready?" Kate said. Willow peered into the church, allowing her eyes to grow accustomed to the gloom. She saw the huge crowd of people that were waiting for her, most of whom she didn't even know. And at the other end of the aisle she saw Charlie, standing with his brother, laughing at some joke or other. As she watched him, that feeling of unease or fear washed over her again, as she remembered the little digs and jibes Charlie had made about her over the years. As though he was telling her she'd never really fit in. The way he didn't like her to drink too much. The way he'd spoken to Skye that afternoon all those years ago. "I can't do it," Willow said. "What?" Kate replied, her face changing to something that looked like anger. "Love?" Don asked, his brow furrowing. Willow started to walk away from the church then, her heels clicking on the paving stones as she strode back towards the limousine. The limousine she hadn't wanted in the first place. She turned to look over her shoulder. "I can't do it," she repeated. "You'll have to tell Charlie." Just before Kate turned away to go into the church, Willow saw the look on her face, her mouth a hard line, her eyes like steel. The driver was leaning against the bonnet of the car, smoking a cigarette. "We need to leave," she said, panic rising in her throat. "Now!" The driver stubbed out his cigarette, and Willow felt her father's hand on her shoulder. "Just take us back to the hotel, mate," Don said. Then he turned to Willow. "I'll phone your mum and get her to meet us there." Later, when Willow thought about the moment she decided to walk away, she hadn't been able to work out what she'd wanted instead, or where she had wanted to go. All she had known was that she couldn't go through with the wedding. It was a gut reaction, instinctual, as though all those Neanderthal fight-or-flight impulses had kicked in at once. She had wanted to be anywhere other than a village church in Surrey on a sunny Saturday afternoon. When her mother had met them back at the hotel, she asked Willow what she wanted to do, but Willow had no idea. She couldn't go back to the great Portland Street flat she shared with Charlie because she couldn't face him if he was already there. And tempted as she was to go to America with her dad, her passport was back at the flat. In the end, Willow had hitched up the ridiculously over-the-top skirts of her wedding dress and stepped into her mother's Jeep to go back to the Isle of Wight. A journey she hadn't made since she had moved to London with Charlie over 8 years ago. A journey she had never imagined making again, especially whilst wearing £5,000 worth of surprisingly heavy wedding dress. Chapter 1. Willow. 4 days later. Willow sat on the shop counter looking out of the window at the beach beyond, at the sun motes glinting off the sea and the white cliffs in the distance. Her phone had been beeping incessantly for days, sending her a stream of endless texts, WhatsApp messages and Facebook requests, all of which she'd been trying to ignore. She couldn't reply because she didn't have the answers. She didn't know why she'd run away from the church. She didn't know why she hadn't been able to go through with the wedding. Pushing her phone aside, she picked up her father's old mandolin, her fingers tracing the strings, and wondered if she could remember how to play it. The sensation of the instrument in her hands again made her shiver. Music was as much a part of her past as the beach, the cliffs and the sea. Ending up back here after all these years was confusing, as though she didn't know which version of herself to be anymore. The bell above the